Hello Aquarius, I am Ulrich, I'm a Normand card reader, but this time we will use a financial deck for your card reading. The deck contains 44 cards and the laying is done with 3 cards you see here in front of me. You can also see 4 objects here on the table, meaning we will do 4 card readings for the sign of Aquarius for the month of September. Now, from these 4 objects, you choose or you pick one that you think relates most to your personality, or you choose one you feel most comfortable with. This object of your choice, it should or it will relate the best to your current financial situation or the advice that you are receiving from the cards. Of course, you can watch all 4 videos related to the Aquarius sign and then decide which video is fitting you the best. The matches here represent the fire element, the stone represents the earth element, the aerosol sprayer represents the air element, and the shell represents the water element. So Aquarius, here we go for your card reading for September 2021. Hello Aquarius and welcome to the shell or the water group for your card reading, financial card reading, September 2021. Before we start, I want to mention that starting 27th of September, Mercury is start to going retrograde, meaning it's not a good idea to sign contracts. Anything you need to put your name under for officializing, it's not a good thing to do. Also, you will see that your bus is late, your flight is canceled, packages that need to be delivered at your home are delivered at the wrong address. It's also not a good idea to buy electronics like cell phones or laptops or even house equipment like laundry machines. Why these things are connected to warranties and something goes wrong with the warranties afterwards. Anyway, the general idea here is not to sign any contracts if you are able to during that period, 27 September to 18 October. If, however, you are obligated, you have no choice, or you feel compelled to sign the contract, double, triple check the fine print. Because afterwards, it's possible you change your mind and you want to get out of the contract and you cannot anymore. Or there's some clauses in the contract that you disagree with and you didn't read them correctly. So the best thing to do during this period is try to avoid not to sign any contracts at all. Anyway, Aquarius, here we go for your financial card reading. The first card we see here is the card that we here, the laying tells us that probably you live beyond your means. What does that mean if we live beyond our means? Well, it points possibly to that you pay a lot of things with your credit cards and that these credit cards go below zero. This card tells you to stop doing so, because if you don't, probably you come in difficult situations and your debt will deepen. The more you spend, of course, the more you need to pay back. So realize also that the true cost of a purchase on your credit card, don't pay it completely at the end of the month. By paying only the minimum, it will take you a very long time to pay off debts. And the thing that is connected here on credit card is that you pay enormous interest. Some credit cards are really terrible with interest. It's really high amounts you pay if you didn't pay by the end of the month. So you must realize this has an influence on your budget. And it has consequences for you on a short and on a longer time span. It's best here, if you can, and also we need to incalculate that if our credit cards are already on the maximum and we are confronted with unexpected expenses, we cannot move anymore. This is also added to this card. The question is, and the best thing to do with this card is to balance out your credit cards, try to get them on zero with a certain system. And so you get rid of these high interests on these credit cards. And this card tells you here in this laying that you need to stop spending beyond your means. I'm only the card reader. I just tell what it says here. The second card that we have here is the card of budget. So here it says, this card says, if we want to achieve financial certain financial positions, it demands efforts from us. So we need to follow a certain plan for making savings. And without a plan, sometimes it's not possible to achieve certain amounts, especially in savings accounts. Maybe you are one of the people who have a habit of budgeting. So if you are in certain difficulties with your credit cards, you need to ask you, this card tells, because these two are connected, this card tells you, asks you what did go wrong in the past. This points that probably you have certain weaknesses or certain things that you buy that bring you in a difficult financial situation. This is what this card tells you. Also, again, this card mentions, you see the cactus here, you need to incalculate that something can happen in the past. And if you are already in a difficult financial situation, or you need to pay something unforeseen, and the card is already on the maximum, we cannot move anymore. This is the same that this card tells us also. So here, this card stresses actually that we need to be careful for unforeseen conditions. This card asks you to be more flexible with your money. Try to adjust the way you buy. You need to find an alternative. And a good idea here with this card that is said is start to pay cash, because you have a better overview if you pay cash. Anyway, you need to find a certain method for getting rid of always paying with credit cards and getting your balance in a difficult position. This is what these cards tell you. If you do so, if you try to find a way, then you will be able to balance yourself more out, and it will put less financial stress on you. The last card that we have is the card of youth. You probably heard the saying, boys will be boys and girls just want to have fun. But this card, it points to certain outbursts that we have in buying with, again, credit cards. So this card asks you if you have been reckless in the past. If you did, well, you probably have certain consequences now, and it had probably a certain impact on your person. This card asks you to become aware what you're doing. So the three are very close connected, these cards. So here, this card tells you that you need to become aware. And it asks you also to gain control over the way you consume. It also asks you to change your consuming habits. If you do so, you will progress and you will advance. Here, this card asks you to reflect over the situation right now, and also to compare yourself with those of other people in your group of peers. For instance, your brothers, sisters, how are they? Here, this card tells you that you are never too young to be financially mature, and you're never too old to change your financial behavior. If you have the advantage of youth, and at the same time, you're already financially smarter, this card tells you, if you budget well, that you will soon get out of certain problems. If you have the assets of being older, wiser, and experienced, then this card tells you, please use those abilities in your advantage. It asks you to enjoy life in an agreeable, in a nice way for yourself, so you don't have stress, or you have less stress than you have now for the moment. So, Aquarius, this is all for the water group. I hope you like this card reading. It's a different approach, I know. Anyway, if you like this card reading, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for doing so. If this card reading don't fit you at all, in no way, just check out the other 3 card readings that following here. Maybe the other 3 are more applicable on you. Anyway, thank you for watching, and see you maybe next time. Bye-bye for now. Thank you. Hello, Aquarius, and welcome to the air group or for the month of September 2021. Before we start, I want to mention that starting 27 September, Mercury is going retrograde. It's not a good idea to sign contracts, agreements, anything you need to put your name under for confirming a contract. It's not a good thing to do. You will also see that your bus is late, your flight is canceled, the mail that you need to receive don't come, packages are wrong delivered. These are all things that are happening during Mercury retrograde. Also, it's not a good time to buy electronic gadgets like cell phones or housekeeping equipments like, for instance, microwaves. Why? These are connected to warranties, and a problem with the warranty may show up. Anyway, the general idea here is not to sign any contract at all during 27 September up to 18 October. If, however, you feel obligated, you have no choice but signing, or you feel compelled to do so, double, triple check all the fine print, because it's possible afterwards you want to get rid of the contract. There are clauses in the contract that you cannot fulfill. There are things in the contract you disagree with, and you cannot get out of the contract anymore. So the general idea here is not to sign contracts at all if you can. Now, coming back to the air group, we see the three cards here. This is the card of food, this is the card of social pressure, and this is the card of our children. The first impression we get from this card is that probably we need to adjust the way we eat. We cannot let us pressure us from big food chains, especially like fast food chains. We need to change the habits that we eat. And if we eat in a positive way, we eat healthy, this will also have a positive effect on our children, and they will learn in a positive way. But now we will go into more details. So the first card here we see is the card of foods. So we know we live in a hectic world, and in order to maintain our standard of living, we probably need to budget here constantly. Probably you take a lot of takeouts, and you don't cook too often yourself anymore. This card wants to remember you that it's a good thing to cook yourself. Cooking is an art, this card tells you. I know it's this card says it's more easier than that we take out, or we go to the restaurant, or we order a gourmet dish. However, this has a certain impact on your budget. The problem is probably you have quite some amount of expenses with these takeouts, and this card tells you to review this. It asks you to put back your pots and pans on the stove and start to cook yourself for two reasons: for budgetary reasons, for saving budget, and the second is for eating more healthy. So also in the end of the month, it will leave you with a very nice amount that you saved, because you will not spend it on takeouts. So you can save this money for other plans that you have for the future. This card asks you to break the chain of spending and maybe overspending on takeout food. So plan something else, buy fresh vegetables, buy fresh food, and cook it yourself. You will save a lot of money. You will learn the art of culinary art, and you will be healthier and, of course, financially better off. Here, this is the social pressure. Probably there's a lot of pressure, or you experience some social pressure. What this means? Well, we constantly compare ourselves to our peers, to people that live around us. Living in a community is what determines us, who we are, and we compare ourselves to others. So we operate in a society of consumption and overconsumption. Your friends, your neighbors, your brothers, sisters, they drive around in nice new luxurious cars. They wear nice designer clothes. They have the nice shoes, and they have the latest gadgets. And you, for your part, sometimes you have difficulties at the end of the month for paying all. So the question probably you ask yourself, how do your neighbors, friends, and people that you know get there? Well, this card tells you actually not to compare yourself to other people, and don't let others' appearance fool you. This card tells you that you are the one responsible for your own financial situation and tells you to use your money wisely. For instance, if you have some expenses that come in the future, that you use your budget in a different way. For instance, if you need to buy a laundry machine, you can find a lot of second-hand sites on the internet. You can buy a used laundry machine. Sometimes it's still packed, still with warranty. If you, for instance, need to buy a new car, you can buy a new car with an extended warranty. So this card tells you to use your budget in a different way, in a budget-friendly way, and not to be seduced by the social pressure. This card tells you not to let it come to you, like to ignore it. Also, if we see our neighbors, what looks good on the outside is not always so. We don't see what happened inside the doors or the living room of another person. So this card tells you live according to your own needs, your own abilities, define yourself socially by yourself and by your own accomplishments. It's important, it's ultimately more important that you take care of yourself than that you have nice clothes, nice shoes, the last cell phones. Don't bend for social pressure and take care of yourself and eat healthy. That's what this card says also. So it's actually connected, these two cards. Then we have the children. Well, we all know that children, of course, are a beautiful wealth, but we know there's expenses connected to it. The apple of your eye, it costs you money. We all know that. There are essentials expenses, of course, for them, and there are less expenses, less necessary expenses for them. That is what this card says. That's why the child here, she's holding up the pig. So probably your child, she comes to you sometimes and she asks for certain things to buy for her. Here, this card asks you to make the distinction what they really need and what is luxury. It will also have an influence. Maybe it's the social pressure here, because we see the card, and maybe their friends have nice luxury gadgets, and the children put then pressure on you for acquiring these same budget. For instance, then you go to the mall and your child tells you, Dad, Mom, I like this one. And then you say, but we cannot pay this for now. And then your child replies you, but you can, because your wallet is full of credit cards. Here, this is what this card means. Sometimes the children are not aware of the value of money. So this card tells you that you need to educate them financially about money. How does the money get in your wallet? You need to make them aware of that. In the second thing also, this card tells you you need to invest in the future education of your child. And also maybe in some health benefits, maybe there are certain insurances that you want to acquire for your children. So this card asks you if you have that all in order. This card tells you also not to bend for any social pressure of other parents. It tells you not to follow those trends. So you need to set your priorities. It's connected here to this card. It's actually the same. Don't bend for your children's tears in the supermarket. Don't tell yourself stories. Children don't have limits. This is what this card says. They don't stop. They don't ask, stop talking. That's also why you need to educate them. Because as soon as you give them what they want, they find something new to buy. So stop wasting energy like that, this card tells you. You can be sure that, says this card, that they understand. Of course, you need to give them the necessary explanations. So you need to teach them priorities and learn them to set those priorities. This is what this card tells us. So Aquarius, for the air group, this is all for now. If you like this card reading, it's a different approach. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for doing so. If this card reading don't fit you at all, check out the other 3 card readings that are connected here. Anyway, thank you for watching and see you maybe next time. Bye-bye for now. Thank you. Hello Aquarius, and welcome to the Earth or the Stone group for the month of September 2021. Before we start, I mention it in every group. This is not the period from 27 September to 18 October is not a good idea to sign contracts, agreements, anything you need to put your name under for officializing. It's not a good thing to do. Also, during that period, you will see that your bus is late, your flight is cancelled, packages that need to arrive in your home are wrongly delivered. These are all things that are connected to Mercury retrograde. It's because our mind tends to work a little bit slower, the collective mind of all people during that period. So during that period, it's best not to sign. If, however, you feel compelled, obligated in somehow for signing a contract, double, triple check the fine print. Because it's possible afterwards you change your mind, you didn't see certain clauses in the contract, you disagree with certain clauses, and you cannot get out of the contract anymore. So the best thing to do during this period is try to avoid to sign contracts at all. So Aquarius, here we go for your card reading for September. The first card we see here, it's about automatic savings. Probably you have the possibilities and every month there's some money left. And this card wants to tell you that you can apply like automatic saving on your accounts. It's a very efficient and simple way to organize your money and put it in systematic savings. This card tells you, of course, you need to decide what amount you can miss per month, and this amount then you can apply automatically in your budget, and it automatically is transferred in your savings account on probably a monthly basis. You do this so it's like you set up an automatic withdrawal, you give the order yourself by your laptop, or you go to the bank and you let it do for you that this money is automatically transferred on your account. You will see within a few months, you will save serious amounts of money. You can then, if you see that you have these savings, you can increase this contribution, or you can put this money in a different source of income. Maybe you can make certain investments. You can put it, for instance, in something that has value for you on the long run. You can save for your retirement, or you can save for your children, or a renovation project that you probably have in your mind, or a trip you already want to take for a very long time. So this card tells you by regularly increasing these amounts over the months and over the years, you will quickly amount serious amounts of money. So this card tells you if that money stays on your account, to discipline yourself. And since you have the money, you just transfer it in a savings account. It will improve your financial stability. This card tells us that everything that we do with money is important. Probably you have a certain amount of money in your account. Probably because you have this card, you want to use that money, you want to get more or gain more money on the long run. But this card tells you if we always spend small amount of money, it's a lot at the end of the month. One of the problems is that people have lost the track of the value of money. Why? Because mostly we pay with credit cards, and the brain don't calculate if we pay with our credit cards. So here you need to realize this card says that every little bit counts. Some people get in a difficult situation by spending small amounts of money. So sometimes there is no need to get in trouble financially, because sometimes if we spend a lot, sometimes we come in problems by spending small amounts of money. But probably here, this is not the case here, but this card tells you that you need to be aware what you are spending, and that the small amounts that you give for maybe things that look unimportant, you better put this in your savings account. This is what this laying tells you. And if you do, your accomplishments very soon will give you more financial security. So everything that you do with small amounts of money, the small micro decisions that you take by not spending will lead to more savings and will lead to very good accomplishments in your budgeting. The last card is the card of accomplishments. You will see probably now that probably it means this cards mean that you come in a better financial situation. So probably you have been able to make some adjustments, some savings, and now you see the results. You start to bear fruits and you have some additional money in your accounts. Maybe you change certain things in the way you spend money. This card tells you whatever your accomplishments are, don't compare yourself to other people. This card tells you to be smart on the long run, to change, to improve yourself even better. If you can make additional changes for saving more, you should. You also should see what costs you money and what you can eliminate. So this card tells you to investigate how you get in this better financial position. Probably this is not alone by an increase in salary. Probably you changed certain structures in your spending because else we cannot save money. Here this card tells you also there is no big or small success. Rather, it's like an accumulation of all the things that we do, and it will create a lasting effect, and it will be good for your savings, for your retirement, for some plans that you have. So you need to continuing. This card tells you what you're doing over the last period, because you have growth here, you have growth. So you will need to, this card asks you to investigate what you did right. And you need to go into that so you can improve your financial situation better or even make it better. So this card tells you keep persevering, investigate, and try to find out how you come in this better condition, because it's probably not only related to a salary increase, it's probably that you change something structural. So Aquarius, for the Stone Group, this is all for this month. I hope you enjoyed this card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for doing so, and see you maybe next time. Thank you. Bye-bye for now. Hello Aquarius, and welcome to the Fire or the Matches group for the month of September 2021. I mention it in every group. Before we start, I want to mention here that starting 27 September up to 18 October, Mercury is going retrograde, meaning it's not a good idea to sign contracts, agreements, arrangements, anything you need to put your name under for officializing it. It's not a good thing to do so. You will also see that your bus is late, your flight is canceled, packages that need to arrive in your home are wrongly delivered. These are all things connected to Mercury going retrograde. The reason is because our brain, all the people's brain, is working a little bit slower during that time period. Also during that period, it's not a good idea to buy electronics like cell phones or like housekeeping equipment like laundry machines. Why? These are connected to warranties, and maybe a problem with the warranty can pop up. Anyway, the idea here is not to sign any agreements at all or contracts. If, however, for some reason you are obligated, you feel compelled, or you have no choice, double, triple check all the fine print in the contract, because it's possible after you change your mind, you want to get out of the contract and you cannot anymore. There are clauses in the contract that you didn't see or you don't agree with. This is possible, so it's better not to sign any contracts during this period. So Aquarius, here we go now for your financial card reading. The first card that we see here is the card of inheritages, and this card tells you actually in general not to rely on other people, people who are close to you for money. So maybe it's in you think about maybe certain accumulations for your retirement, and maybe also your parents are getting older, and maybe you think for incalculating that in your retirement plan. But this card tells you we need to be careful with that. It actually tells you that it's not safe or even dangerous to rely on others or other funds, or for instance your parents, to incalculate that for your old age. Of course, you can if your parents or some people around you are already very unfit. But then we need to also think about the idea that you did not read their will. And therefore, you are not sure that you are their sole heir or that everything will benefit it for you. We are not sure till actually the notary or the lawyer, he reads the will. And this card tells you not to make mistakes in that area. Also, we need to consider that the life expectancy of most people, especially from older people, has exploded over the last decades, and probably your parents will likely live a lot longer than you anticipate. Excuse me. As they go older, of course, they may gradually need all their savings for paying for services and for their survival conditions. And of course, you cannot blame them because it's basic needs they have, and they need to take care of themselves. Also, we need to connect to that every individual has the right to change their testimony and do what they want. Who knows, your mother will not succumb to the young Venus living next door, or some Cupid they met on the internet. So we never know here what is happening. That is what this card tells you. It's possible that even your father or mother, they decide somebody younger, they fall in love, and they decide to take this person before you. We never know this could happen. This card tells you it's okay to take an inheritance as a plan for a retirement analysis, but nonetheless, we need to be careful. Also, the most important thing here that we see nowadays is that it's not an exception anymore that people get 80 years old. So this card tells you plan your things carefully and you will come out as a winner even if you do nothing. The second card here is about our needs. We all individual, we have all different needs, we are all unique. So this is also probably the way we spend in life. But this card asks you to review your real needs. Take your time to compare what is your situation and what is fundamentally necessary for you as a person. Analyze your condition, this card says, and try to distinguish your obligated things that you buy and what is your desires to buy. This card asks you to make a fair and a precise analysis of your situation. It will allow you to identify essential expenses and distinguish them from unnecessary things. Then this card asks you, if you look at that, did you spend on certain unnecessary things? Probably you did, because else this card would not be here. This card tells you if you avoid these things, that you will be able to improve yourself financially a lot. It will have a positive effect on your financial health if you stick to the things that you really need and don't buy luxury goods. So this card asks you to make consciously a clear decision towards that. And if you do so, you will see how much you enjoy and how much you appreciate certain things that you buy later as a luxury good, because you will limit your luxury goods then. And if you buy something luxurious, a present for yourself or for a loved one, you will appreciate it more because you spend less obvious. This is what this card tells you. So the money is here offered to you on a platter for reviewing the way you make your spending. The last card is actually about people that we love and our loved ones who are close to us. And it's also connected to the holidays, Christmas, Easter, and Valentine. What has this card got to do with the budget? Well, actually, it has a lot to do with, because it's part of the way we spend. This card asks you if you spend a lot of money during holidays, birthdays, and probably you have. Here it's probably connected to the basic needs, if we can make the distinction. So this is a question: if we want to spend certain amounts of money or certain presents that we buy for loved ones. This card asks you if you think that your son or your daughter will love you less if the gift is less expensive. Of course, you can buy chocolates, you can buy some flowers for your wife. That is not the essence here of this card. This card means if you buy luxurious gifts, do you need to pay the very expensive things or things that are out of your budget? This is what this card tells you. People lost a little bit track what is the real meaning of Christmas, Easter, Valentine, and they don't see it anymore as a holiday. They see it as a celebration of abundance, actually. So this card tells you that you need to control your spendings for holidays, for birthdays. You need to try to do it in a different way, and your loved ones will not see you in a different point of view. This card also tells you to learn about the actual meaning of Christmas, Easter, and Valentine, because this is more about love and that we love each other and not actually about money. So it asks you to give them their sincere value back. Love your loved ones with the love that you have in your heart and not with the presents that you give them. So this card tells you, please don't overconsume and take care of your money in a different way. Gifts are meant as an expression of love, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they need to be expensive. So it's not about quantity, but it's about the love, the attention you give to the loved one. That is what this card is about. So you need to review the way this card says of spending during holidays and the people we love and the presents we give them. So Aquarius, for the fire group, this is all for now. If you like this card reading, it's a different approach. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for doing so. If this card reading don't fit you at all, please check out the other 3 card readings that are coming here next or before. Anyway, thank you for watching and see you maybe next time. Bye bye for now. Thank you.